Use soap to charmingly not be a sitting duck. What the heck does that mean? Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Day 986 of documenting the journey of what I'm doing as I transition from the brick and mortar world of business to the new world of business. Now, I will admit today I got sidetracked on the filters. There's a whole bunch of new filters on my phone through Facebook that I could use to make videos, and it was pretty fun looking at all the crazy things that you can do. And then I decided, hey, I'm just going to show up and be me, because that is so much easier than trying to figure out if a filter has sound or not, if it's going to be crazy, how it's going to actually look. I used one on my practice video for sitting duck today that I do on my profile page, and it was super distracting. I mean, there was so much movement in it, which is reminiscent of not wanting to be a sitting duck, but it distracted me. And if it's distracting me, and it made my face really, really big. So if it's distracting me, I think it's going to be too distracting, and then the message gets lost, right? So documenting the journey as I transition from the brick and mortar world, the corporate world of business, to the online world, and what's working, what's not, and what I love, what I hate, what I wish I had never done, what I wish I would do differently, what I am going to do differently, what I'm working on. So what I'm working on obviously has something to do with sitting ducks. I don't know about charmingly, but something that we don't want to do to supersize and grow our business is be a sitting duck. And Get Up and Go Challenge was about, of course, the SOAP framework, because the SOAP framework is the essence and the core of the whole Get Up and Go Challenge. It is what the whole Get Up and Go Challenge has morphed into being, the central focus. That's the central focus of, and the most important part and message of the whole Get Up and Go Challenge. The purpose of it is to have a framework, and SOAP is the framework that you can install in your subconscious to guarantee you'll get better results after any change or challenge that you face than before you face that change or challenge. How do I know? I've done hundreds of thousands of challenges that I've used this framework on, and I've helped thousands of other people use this framework and use this to guarantee that they'll get better results after they've had a challenge or a change. Then, because I think challenge and change are synonymous, right? If I have a challenge, it's because of a change. There's always a change involved in a challenge, right? Something is not the status quo. It's not what it was before. So to me, those two terms are used interchangeably. Now, also, I don't consider a change or a challenge to be a negative or bad thing. Are they sometimes? Depends on your perspective, depends on how you look at it. A lot of people look at COVID-19 as a horrific thing. And of course, the people that have died and everything, it's terrible. But the whole pandemic, the whole way it's been handled, whether you agree with it or not, has created massive change on a global basis. Our world is forever changed due to this particular situation. And what determines how you're responding and reacting to the situation is the story you're telling yourself about your current situation and how it's impacting you. And this is true of any change or any challenge. So over the next few days, we will go deeply into the SOAP framework on the Get Up and Go Challenge, how you can apply it to one specific area of your life, which in turn impacts every area of your life, right? We are interdependent beings. We like to look at and break things down so that we can manage them. Because if I say I have to change everything about my life, guess what? I will stop dead in my tracks and not change or do anything. But if I break it down into bite-sized pieces or things that I believe are manageable and I have a high probability of figuring out and having success with, then I'm much more likely to take action, not be a sitting duck, and do something about them. I actually like the idiom sitting duck because, no judgment, but I used to be a duck hunter. I used to hunt birds with my ex-husband. And I grew up in a family that hunted and fished and did all those things. And then I married into a family that was big hunters and fishermen and outdoor people. And so we always grew up hunting. My kids grew up hunting. And I will say, we eat everything that we hunt. Everything we kill and capture, or not capture, but kill or shoot, we absolutely positively eat and consume. I can't stand it when people, and this is my own personal prejudice, of course, when people hunt things, but then they don't even eat them. It's like the fisherman who goes out fishing, gets their limit of fish, but they never consume fish. Now, if you give them to friends, that's awesome too. But the point is to not be wasteful. We don't go out and do things just to, for the action of doing them. We go out and we do them for a purpose. And for us, it was purpose. My kids, I used to joke, but it was absolutely true. I think the whole time my children were growing up, I was married to my ex-husband, we almost never actually purchased meat because they would turkey hunt. So we had turkey for Thanksgiving and for Christmas. They were always duck and goose and grouse and pheasant hunting. So we always had fowl or game in the freezer. So actually, I think for all of us, it made us healthier and happier because we were eating foods that weren't highly processed, that didn't have a lot of chemicals, that weren't, it wasn't beef that's been through the beef mill or chicken that's been through the chicken mills. And by chicken mills, I mean the process of creating mass quantities of chicken and beef and pork and all the other meats for us, our human consumption. I think the things that come from nature are a lot better for us. That's why we like to have gardens and we like to hunt and fish and eat the things that we hunt and fish. Totally a topic for another day. So we're going to talk about the framework in the Get Up and Go Challenge in detail because it has been such a powerful force in my life. I want to make sure I'm sharing it with as many people as possible. And then sitting duck was our challenge today. Obviously, I like sitting ducks, and it's an idiom that reminds me to keep moving during challenging times, to no matter what, not just sit and be complacent and wait for the world to change around me, wait for things to go back to normal. I hate when people say, I'm just waiting for things to go back to normal, or this is the way we've always done things, because it tells me that they're closed off and they're not willing to be open to the possibilities or open to any kind of change. And that's great. More power to you if you're happy and you're 100% satisfied with where you are and what's going on with your life. But most of us aren't, right? Most of us want more. Most of us want progress. Most of us want to feel like we're moving in a positive direction for our lives. So SOAP framework this week, the next 4 days, we'll go into detail, the S, the O, the A, the P, and give examples of that. And then we'll do it for one particular area or aspect of our life. And if I don't get enough, or if I don't get an overwhelming supply of comments to the alternative, I'll pick something physical, and I'll pick a physical challenge that I'm currently facing, because I'm pretty much always facing some kind of a physical challenge. And I'll use that as a specific example as I go through the story, the options, the actions, and the progress, the elements of the SOAP framework, so that it's a very clear example of how you could apply it to your life. Not just about me, because it's not just about me. It doesn't matter at all if it works for me and you can't figure out how to apply it to your life. It's all about you having tools that make your life better. That's kind of what this take on the Get Up and Go challenge is. Every day for the 31 days, I'm making sure I share one of my favorite tools, a tool that I've been using for probably decades in some instances. There's some things I've shared and will be sharing that I have used for literally 30 plus years in my life in different situations to make sure that they helped me to more quickly, easily, efficiently, and effectively deal with a situation or deal with a problem that I was having. So I want to make sure that I share a bunch of my tools from my toolbox as well, because if it's something that I've been using successfully for years, I got to believe that might help other people as well. What else is going on? Okay, fun challenge today was about charms and charm bracelets. And it's really funny because, about what would you have on your charm bracelet if you were designing a charm bracelet? And I just laughed because I'm like, geez, I know for a fact I got tons of charm bracelets in my jewelry box. And I didn't get them all out, but I grabbed a couple. I've got one with Texas memorabilia that I created in Texas when I lived there. I lived in Texas in the early 80s. I have a Christmas charm bracelet, because everybody should have at least one Christmas charm bracelet, because I love Christmas and I don't really love winter. I like the looking at winter, but since my vision's gotten bad, I don't love interacting with winter per se. I have one actually from my sudden cardiac arrest, and a bunch of the charms fell off this, but following that event, since that was a really big event in my life, my family, my sister actually started to create a charm bracelet for me. And so I have a charm bracelet. I even have charm necklaces, and I'm even wearing a Brighton charm bracelet. So there's all different things, but charm bracelets are really fun because they let us pick and choose triggers and they're symbols of things that are important to us in our life. And I'm kind of laughing that I haven't worn one for the last year since I started my big move out of my home with my ex-husband. I realized that I really have not. I don't think I was sick over Christmas, so I don't think even during Christmas, even one time I wore my charm bracelet. So this year I'm going to remedy that and make sure I do, because there's symbols of things that are important to me. This one's got a lot of hearts on it because of my sudden cardiac arrest. It's got an angel. It's got my daughter and my son, a little girl and a little boy. It's got a teddy bear because I used to collect teddy bears for about 25 years. I had a huge teddy bear collection, and I would just collect bears, and people would give me bears, and it kind of got out of control. it kind of got to the point where I would need a whole room to keep the bears in. And so I made the hard choice, and I actually gave away to charity all of my bears, my bear collection. I have a few again that I've collected or that have meant something to me or that the kids have given me. But for the most part, all of the bears went. And so I have a teddy bear charm to remind me of my teddy bears and my teddy bear collecting days. But things like that, that I have a house because I used to be in the real estate business. I have an owl to remind me to continually improve and grow and learn and study and always become a better version of myself. But charms are awesome because they symbolize something that's important to us. You know, even the Texas one is so fun because it reminds me of places that I went and things that I did when I was in Texas. Like a little cowboy hat, little gun because I used to go shooting in Texas. I've got some arrowheads because I used to love to find rocks. I've got a little rodeo bronco buster because my cousins were in the rodeo, and so we would go to the rodeos. And then it triggers for me. My family did a rodeo for 5 years, so it's just fun to have these memories, these little memories that don't probably mean anything to anyone else, but they do remind me of good and happy times in my life. So charm bracelet, obviously the fun challenge was fun for me today. And really it was all just about drawing charms on a charm bracelet, things that would remind you of, I say, positive, fun memories, not negative ones. Working on all that today, just finished a course on momentum and personality types, entrepreneurial personality types yesterday. And I bought some products and services from them. And so I will work on a little bit of that today, but I'm trying to stay focused on the Get Up and Go challenge, what I'm working on. And my accountability coach called me out on that. And she said, I still see you doing Supersize Your Business. I still see you doing the fun challenge, Pajama Grandma podcast. And I reminded her that I made commitments to do those things. The fun challenge is a 365-day challenge to do one fun thing every day. And I don't see that as taking away from my Get Up and Go challenge. I see it as personally developing, and it's a habit, and it's a thing I do every day to make sure that I am looking for what it is that I want to see in the world. And in 2020, I want to see a heck of a lot more fun, a lot more beauty, a lot more positive, a lot more kindness. I think next year might be do one kind thing every day because or one thing every day that makes you feel kind, because 2020 in a lot of situations, not in my own life personally, but I have observed a whole lot of unkindness. And I don't think personally that that's okay. I don't think it's okay to treat anybody, no matter who they are, where they come from, what the situation is, in a way that you wouldn't want to be treated. And I've noticed that I really notice and I get irritated by people being unkind. And I don't think I was so hyper aware of it prior to this year, where I'm looking for fun, and I'm looking for love, and I'm looking for beauty, and I'm looking for kindness, and I'm looking for the attributes and the values and the things that I want to see in the world. And when those things are missing or absent in our circles, we want to go out and find them. So that's it. That's what I'm working on today. If I can help you in any way with respect to the online world, the offline world, because guess what? One thing I've learned about the online world, the biggest aha has been people in the online world, on the internet, who have just digital internet businesses, focus on different things than those of us that have real world and corporate experience. The things that we focus on, and it's not that we focus on different things, but the emphasis that we place on different things and different aspects of a successful business are very, very different. And so I think that that's one of the interesting things that I have learned about that. In the online world, 90% marketing and sales focus, 90% message, story, delivery, tips, tricks, strategies, hacks. Don't like the word hack, by the way. And in the offline world, it's about, hey, guess what? There's 6 or 7 key things in your business that you better pay attention to if you're creating a real business that you want to grow and build and supersize. And so I'm continually trying to merge those two things and figure out where in the middle am I, because I definitely am in that gap, and I want to help people to fill that gap so that more people don't find themselves in the situation they did with COVID-19, where they had a 100% offline business and all of a sudden their business was shut down. Because every business can have an online component. Every business can find a way to serve people and continue to serve people and add value to the world, even if their brick and mortar business is shut down. And I mean 100% shut down. That's it. Have an amazing day. I will be with you tomorrow with another update on what I'm doing as I transition from the brick and mortar world to the online world. Take care.